Okay, I'm trying to make this for a simple trading system. I put a 1 period moving average and made it really thick on top of my gray, which is the range of the session. 4-hour charts, order placement. Sure, you can build these channels and all that nonsense, but I'm just going to go horizontal here. Look at the horizontal view order placement. I don't know what I've already done to this account. I've already kind of been trading automated stuff, but I think if you're going to trade with 50 pip stop, this would be the video for the double your money with a 50 pip stop. So here I'm putting my orders on the lows, buy limits, sell limits. I've got I thought I made a weekly. Here's a weekly scalp. So 18 pips stop to make 36 pips. Double your money. Spread's gonna take that down a little bit, but so my weekly sells go up here. Previous. And right on the wicks. I think the wicks are good for the tight stops. Make this a little bit bigger. Make this a 50. Risk 50 to make 100 on the sell side. Okay, so 50. Well, first we'll name it. Save as 50 to make 100 weekly. So since the week's over, we're going to place orders for next week, and we can just walk away from these trades. Just set and forget it. Plus, it's kind of a contest to see if you don't mind these orders being out there. I was trying to show somebody how to trade once, and I asked them, how do you feel about placing an order way out here for next week? And they said they didn't care. I don't know if they had a low IQ. People are telling me stuff about this guy like, well, he's got a problem, and the one guy who was telling me what the problem never told me what the problem was. And so two of us in the room were like, so I mean, I don't mean to pry, but what the fuck is his problem? So maybe his problem was he's dumb, which is great, because he would have just said, oh, okay, well, I don't have a problem placing an order out there. Now, if people have been trading for a real long time, they're going to say, well, wait a minute, let me check my cloud patterns. I think we got a cumulus nimbus. I think we need, to put the order over here. And that works too. So you can place these orders in the clouds, I guess, if you're going to be living like that, or in the channel. And these will flip into, these orders will flip as far as what they are going to do. If you put them, if you put a buy order above the market, it's a buy stop. You put it below, it's a buy limit automatically with these single drops. And this is really how you should be trading if you don't want to. If you want to trade a lot of currency pairs, you want to babysit the market, you can handle a 50 pip stop to make 100 pips, and you're okay with that trade. Then it's a matter of just finding places to place it on the chart. So you can either place them at the goofball round number, or you can place them at the where you figure there is going to be a controversy because you're going into new lows or new highs, and there's going to be a debate there. Is that the fake out or is it a breakout? So since you know there's probably going to be a little bit of where they pop it above or below a wick and then they pull it back, that you put your scalps in there. You can lay that all in now. So you're good. These orders should delete. I'm going to see what happens here on this platform. I'm putting in all these demo orders here on the today, and I'm going to leave it. This broker seems to have no limit to how many orders I can place in here, which is beautiful. And they're all 1Ks. I'm trying to stick with a 1K because I can kind of not blow up the account. It's only got $9,000 in it. So I'm trying to get it back from the original $10,000 that I fictitiously deposited in the demo account. But I start with 10 grand because it's just easier to see the metric. 10, now you're down. I'm down 10%, I guess, or whatever. 20, I don't know percentages, I guess. But so I'm just going to trade this from I have a scalp order and I have a wide stop. So if I just had 2 orders on my favorites list here, so I take everything off here. One thing is, if you ever delete a script and you still have it listed in your favorites and it doesn't launch, is because the favorites list is actually a file that, if these really aren't compiled properly, they don't exist, then they're just not, it's not going to launch. It's dead. There's no, but it still shows up in here. So just because you deleted it off the common area doesn't take it off of your favorites list. So if you're trying to get organized, which I really am, I think that's what I need a coach for. But then I tried that. I tried the Brian Tracy thing. I just wanted to shoot him. I said, you know what? You're making me feel bad about not being organized. So shut up. I think I'm just going to live in chaos and, you know, self-acceptance of your problems. Okay, so trading's good for that. Trade's good for looking in the mirror of your. So if you kept it down to this, now this should be risk 15 to make this scalp here doesn't completely mirror the other order. But this is your whole life. You're down to these 2 trades. And this is close order, so if you decide you want to take something off, but we're just going to you would just take this and drop. This is a nice close. You would drop the order closest, so if you make a mistake. You can also put that in the middle so you can sell high and buy low, keep these favorites going. Now, how much damage can you possibly do? You can go around every currency pair here and be like, okay, well, I'll buy here on this new low. I've already placed all these orders before, so I'm probably going to pull up the account for sure here. But I'll get down here at the round number with a 50 pip stop. I'll get down here on the round number with a 50 pip stop. And if you did this every day, then you have a pending 1 week overlay of these orders. And sure, you can do this. Okay, trend line break, pull back. I want to get in on the retest of this, and of course you missed that trade. So your buy limit today should have been. So on the 4-hour charts, you can see all the trades you missed, and you really need to beat yourself up. This is the best way to do it. Okay, I should have had a buy limit here today for that easy scalp, and it had to be a scalp because look at, unless you, it looks like a good tank. Now you got buy limits here now. Buy limits based on these tops, based on this bottom. Your sell limits should have been at the round number, based on this floor. We usually revisit the apex of any triangle. Surely people can find triangles on here if you look hard enough. And if you can't, just find the zigzags. A lot of zigzags. Sell limits are up here, never got filled. The sell limits in the zigzags, I would say this is, if you want to get your kids trading, tell them, look for zigzags. Oh, zigzag, daddy. Put a sell limit, son. Okay, there you go. See, it's as simple as that. And maybe you do have a sell limit up here. Sell limit window here is, and this is why people are, I'm sure this is a bat wing, right? So this is your bat wing, right? And this rarely happens. I think you have to still trade on other than just the style, but see, this is the perfect Gartley. You come down here and you've got this bat wing and this bat wing, and you're getting in here, your stops here. This is your where they've trapped all the bulls that figure, yeah, this thing's going to just keep going up. Don't forget we're in an uptrend. So that's how that works. But look at this feeding at the round number. And if you just had one order in there with a 50 pips stop, you made 100 pips. Then you sold up here because you're at the 100 pips, and you missed this trade because you should have had sell limits in the floor here. All the trades you missed. Here's the euro versus the pound, 4-hour. All the trades you missed. Let's find them. Double top, you should add buy limits here. Double top, maybe no fill. Double top, maybe no fill. You got filled here. You had orders here at the round. Look at the double dip in the round number. Kind of retarded, you know. No offense to intellectuals, but it's very retarded trading. Buy limit sitting at the doji. You missed that one. Where's the sells you missed? Well, here was the round number. Seems to mean something to these people. You would have sold on this doji. Okay, counter trend trade. Can't see any further back. You're selling the new highs here. New highs. New high alert. Sell. There's the counter trend trade. Traded from both directions. Sell limits up here now. Sell limits here. Sell limits here. Sell limits all the way up. This could cave in. People are short on maybe scalps there. They made a few pips. So here's your next week's orders. Buy at the round number, 50 pips stop. Buy at the round number, 50 pips stop. They stop you out here, you go flat, you buy down here. Here's your scalps. Scalps, usually I place those right on the edge of the wick. High probability scalp right there. Right there. Okay, next problem. Oh, this is my demo publishing. Next problem here. Buy scalps, new lows. Yeah. Down here, doji bounce. Okay, buying at the round number with a 50 pip stop. Probably the most retarded, easiest trade plan in the world. Try not to put it on the same order as your scalp because you don't want to have a unified entry. You want to have a diversified entry, different orders. Down here. Here you could put in maybe 100 pip stop. Of course, you know, you have to trade what you think you want to risk. Now on the sell side, next week, we sell there, we scalp, a little bit offset from them. We scalp around the round. Another big 50 pip stop up here. Scalping at the tops here though. This is where all your scalp placements go because scalping at the round number off of this is a high probability. You see how this worked all week long? This has been working. This order has been working. Oh, put the wrong fucking order. That's a buy stop. It turned into a buy stop. Now here's where you'd fix your mistake. Come into close order on this buy stop. So here is your, if you just keep this to scalps and swings. So I only have two styles of orders running. The scalps will always be up on the top here, and you can make this, and it's really not a scalp. I should make that 15 to make 30. Let me just fix it. And make this save as risk 15 to make 30, and I might have already written it. So after you write after you write a master file of all your scripts, then you can copy, and you can copy that into another platform and trade the same scripts on another broker on different instruments if you want to keep it separated. And it used to be a big hit song, but I didn't mind that song. It was so odd. So set this appropriate to the name of the script, compile it. Slippage, I leave it 3. I don't know, I have no idea what that does. I've never experimented with playing with it, so I guess so far so good, but maybe it's where you drop it. I don't know how that fits in. So let me get rid of this guy from the favorites and bring in the scalp trade. Now this could be a scalp on the guppy. It may not be a scalp even on the euro. It might be a swing trade. When the ATRs drop on the volatility drops on these currency pairs, sometimes you're not getting the type of drama that you need to fill your wick entries, the edge of the market entries. Okay, so it should show up here. I'm going to risk 15 to make 30. Yeah, this is the favorites. Okay, now I got a symmetrical system here. Buy low, sell high with the sells up here. So if you're going to set up all these trades for next week, you know where your scalps go. You're going to want to get in on maybe just scalps near the round and swings near the round. Okay, this one is going down. I think I'm just, and of course if it's good for a week, it's good for the day, I suppose. Unless you're doing that like kind of getting in front of the market for a very short period of time for a what you think is a very short bounce, then maybe you want to have 15-minute and 1 hour, all that in between stuff. So this is a buy stop here. This is when I said I think they're trapping them. So I put a buy stop scalp above here. I could trade inside the spread with this broker, so I could drop this order right inside here. And it's a buy limit because the ask hasn't gotten down there. If I put it above the ask, it will be a buy stop automatically. Then I would just buy here, and I put the scalps in for next week down here. A scalp around that round number just because it's a high probability trade, and all next week. All right, and then this is a way to accept the risk up front and see what happens. It's got to be better than lottery tickets. Here's the sells. Sell at the round. Sell on a scalp at the round. Sell up. Oh wait, I was like I said. Put your scalps on the wicks. So here, because you're going to get this high probability fake out breakout. And if you have a bunch of orders sitting at the wicks, then you might be into 8K on that, and you might make $10 or something on that trade, or maybe you put in 20 of these little itty bitty orders around here like this, and you're going to make a 20K. You're going to make $40, whatever it is. Across all these pairs. So here's the scalps for next week. I'm going to buy at the edge of that wick. Going to buy at the round. Pound CAD, not trading too much. I don't know who trades this stuff. Who's got time to analyze this crap? Just put these orders in here. So you could, and this is, you could write a thing to launch this, but the problem is it's not going to drop it right on the hundreds. You have to do that. There is no hard written drop array that's going to put those in for you where you want. Okay, this is a wacky pair, and there's the round number. This is Australia to New Zealand. So you put your buy limit scalps on here on this doji. Great place to put a pack of orders, at least for the scalps, and the 100 pip winners would buy off of this because you're looking for that thing to crush down and sweep up. Next week it's going to have to happen. The sell scalps are going to be okay. Easy pickings here. You're near the round, you put your scalps in there, maybe 3-pack up here, and then your big swing trade is to sell up in here with a 50 pip stop, and it comes back. CAD Swiss. No brainer. Put your order on the borderline here for the fake out breakout. Maybe plunges a little bit tomorrow. Sells go on wicks. Buys go on wicks for the scalps, and the round numbers I would put in order there. All the scalps is, if you're going to start out and do some cheap trading, low risk. Here's the bigger risk, but I wouldn't duplicate the position of that. You're just basically capturing 100 pip swings. Here was a nice 100 pips. Here's a trade you missed. Doji, look right. Settlement should have been in here for this, and then if you're still holding, now we're going to buy on the 100 pips on the south side. All next week, sat on my levy and grooved. Set these orders and set it, forget it, walk away. Okay. I'm up $1. I'm up $2 on this account right now. Okay, so it's 15 minutes. Everybody's rolled over. The next session's here. There's 24 hours left. I'm gonna buy on a scalp off this wick, scalp off the wick, scalp off the round, swing off this 25 pip handle. I mean, it's like 50 pip handles. I don't have them in here, but here and here all next week's trading. Scalp off that wick, scalp off that low and off this wick, and that's you're risking $4.50 to make, and you know mathematically you're going to make, if they all play out, double that, $9. So you fix this pallet up here, and then you're just looking for places to place orders. You scalp off of that, right? Can you see that trade coming possibly? How about selling right at that thing? So the scalp's built into that. The scenario is here, the market breaks this trend line, everybody's all giddy, comes up, traps at the round, pulls back. You just made money, you place those orders now. Don't think that's going to happen, but I'm just saying this is what it looks like. More likely that we're going to come up here, and we're going to do that move. Going to come up to this doji. So you place your orders right on this bottom. This should be major resistance. This is a great trap trade. You look left for your entries here. You're going to buy down here at the round. There's no, unless you go to the daily. Okay, now you're going to put every round number without duplicating, because you know if you placed all these orders, you know you've already created this huge risk of possible fill. This is a possibility of exposing yourself should the market come all the way back to the starting gate. And have we ever seen this in Forex, where this is the New Zealand dollar against the dollar? Has you ever seen the market come down and break a trend line and come all the way back to here just so we can come back up into the floor? Anybody ever seen that trade? It happened back here. All the way back down so we can come up into the floor. People get out, and maybe they try to sell into that. They got stopped out. What about the people that sold on the wicks here? They got stopped out. If you sold at the round number, you made it all back with a 50 pip stop. So if you're scalping off of this stuff and you predetermine that risk, yeah, you are going to get clobbered. If you sold at the round number, though, all your round number sells with the 50 pip stops made 100. What if you have a 100 pip stop to make 200? What if you have a 200 pip stop to make 400? You didn't make your 400, but 300 pips back to this floor, this double top. Would it be a good idea to buy here for a bounce? Sure, why not? Wick here, buy this whole region. This may just keep churning north, breaks that trend line. This is the floor, and I'm kind of just speaking of placing orders way away from the current market right now. Maybe you are on the smaller time frame. This is the daily. Maybe you are on this 1 hour chart, and you're just like, I just traded this scalp. Right, so maybe you traded, and I'm actually long off of that. So see, here's the internal top bottom. This cluster here is very important, doji. People say it's not a doji. Well, it is a doji on the, this is the 1 hour chart, it's a doji on the 4 hour or the 8 hour or the 12 hour, what have you. That is the place where you could take this all the way back to the starting gate. And I'm telling you, people that, they're like, wow, I'm in this trade, I'm doing so good. And, you know, if you move your stop to break even, what the hell? Well, but, you know, and they've been talking about this trade over at Empowered Trading. I'll get long the, okay, but why would you want to torture yourself? Of course, unless you're into that stuff. You have sell limits on the 1 hour pivots, and this is way more trading, you know, way more orders, but that's the trap. Come back here, maybe you cash out here at the floor, but they take this all the way back down and then up again to the round number dead nuts on with this cluster connected. So you can see it's just about horizontal. Yeah, you can put trend lines on there, but then you're cloud trading. You know, you're lost in the sushi. Look at this run up. Are you kidding me? good old boring euro dollar to the dollar. Here you're going to be buy this wick on the scalps next week. Yeah, buy down here. Just let her go. Alright, so I don't know. That's how I see it. See how this account's doing. This is my winner. Now I'm just going to hit the cash all winning trades button here and launch. Now I am running more than just this on this account, so this is no test of just these 4 scripts. I don't have that kind of discipline to run a demo with just these 4. I'm too excited about this script here, and I think this is set for an ungodly 2 hours, but this is the this is not a drop, this is just a massive Wango Tango order. There's some redneck trading there. No, this is an anger script I wrote. It looks like this. Let me see what the time frame is on this. Maybe I should make this 1 hour. Now that's if you're going to go into that world of that fixed order entry, I'm running this thing. It was a completely different style than single drop. Be aware of the fact that if you don't see at the top of this screen a place to put your stop and your thing, it means you're trading this monster array, and all I did was copy the 2004 send pending, and I just kept copying that. I really thought I'd hit. I felt like I just won the lottery when I because I was thinking to myself, I wonder what would happen if I just copied the same order over and over. Will the broker take it? And then when I launched this thing, and I saw these orders come in, I was like, oh my God, this is 5 years ago. And I was like, holy God, why aren't people doing this? And MetaTrader didn't even, of course, there's a lot of issues here. Don't recommend this for, you have to test out all of these kind of scripts, because the problem here is that if there's any flaw in your, if you've done any flaw here, like your entry is 5 pips deep here, and you're trading a currency that trades with a spread of some crazy thing, and your broker doesn't let you trade inside the spread, this thing ain't even going to run. And the worst thing is, if you mess up one of these orders here, if you don't test these on demos and it locks and it just keeps looping these first ones, and you don't see it on the chart because the market's not moving and it just keeps loading and loading, you'll be exposing yourself to possibly blowing your account up. Just to let you know. Now, this is a completely different, this is, I would say, algorithmic trading, where you're saying, well, this is my scenario, this is 2 hours, so I have to be careful. They don't keep pressing this button like some like the FBI handing out immunities to people. So that's the thing. And but this is, I had too much fun, and I've blown up a lot of accounts and made a lot of money trading with this style of, hey, just buy every 5 pips. This buys every 5 pips to 40 pips with a master stop 10 pips below, linear sizing, 1Ks all the way down. I know it says 30 here, but it's not. It's 2 hours. Now, if I went a 4-hour script, I would definitely place these 15 pips apart. It just makes sense to cover a broader range with longer lasting orders. Just makes sense. Okay, so that's the big kahuna 2-hour drop, and I would just, for that script, I'm hunting for this situation. And since going into Asia here, if we get a we're going into the I'm going to drop a this 2-hour mind-blowing by every 5 pips. The candidate would be, okay, so here, Australia CAD, 2 hours, every 5 pips, 40 pips deep. What I should do is rewrite this for 3 hours so I get some action on this. You know, I'm a price action trader. So this is set to 30. I'm going to set this to 4 hours. This is a broader range. Oh no, this is a pretty tight. I'm going to make this a broader range of orders. So I'm going to H4, and I'm going to make this buy every 20 pips. So you put 200 in for 20. 60, and I'm just going to master stop on here because I'm only trading 1K, so I'm put a 10 pip stop on the last order, and this will be a 3-pack down here. And then take profits. I'm looking to get out at so I'm risk 10 pips to make. If I'm risking 10, I want to make say 30 here. Here it would be minus well, you just leave that the same. Leave all these the same. But this is my scalp down at the bottom. And of course, if I don't, this is going to risk. This is going to risk 50 pips to make. Now I have to make this like 50, which would make it 70 pips winner. This is going to risk. I'm going to risk 30 on this, so we want to make 40. Let's make 50 pips on that. So we'll buy 10 pips above current price when we drop it. So we're going to buy 40 pips deep with a 30 pip stop, and it's going to retrace and blow through where I'm at right now. When I drop, it'll get in 10 pips above. So I'll make 50 pips from risking 30 pips. So they're all good ratios. Compile that, and this is set to the number 2 key, which is a broader spacing than that psychotic script. If you overlay these and create mega diversity, this is like having every race and creed in the room, and aliens. Let's see if this runs. Okay, that ran, and it's on red. It doesn't mean sell. I just set it to that. And let's drop this guy. So let's pepper these charts with this 4-hour bounce order. Good ratios. We'll just go around and give everybody their fair share of the script, and I'm going to overlay it on this one so you can see the overlap, what this looks like. And then I'll just take all my winners off the table. So here I'll overlap. That's deeper. But I know that's good ratios, and who doesn't want to buy down here, right? This is the battle zone. Get a lot chopped down here. We just set this last one to 8 hours, and I'll lay this one in. So when I go to sleep, I can set this. We're going to make this thing get in on the. We'll make this last all day, and this gets on the 50s because that's just how lazy I am. So 25 pips, we'll start at 50 pips deep, we'll buy all the way to 1,000 pips. And once again, we'll put a master stop, 20 pips on the bottom. We're going to risk this, all these pips here. 12. We have a 120 pip stop, and here is the master stop. We're going to buy. We're going to risk 70 pips, and we want to make 1,000 pips, so we'll put in a plus. I'm sorry, we'll make a 1,000 pips. 50 deep, we're going to make 100 pips off of this, right? Because we're risking 70 pips. We're going to make 100. So make this plus 500, and this is going to make it exits above where we're at when we drop it. And you can call this whatever you want, and I'm going to make this all day long. And this would keep piling up on the let me just make it age 12, and I could drop it every 12 hours. Take as needed every 4 hours. Okay, let's get a cap of letters in here. So age 12, compiled out. Let's make sure this runs. Okay, let me make the ratios good on this. So this is going to risk, here you're risking 55 pips. We want to make, let's make 65 pips. No, let's make 75 pips. So minus 10. I don't know if I can put minus 0 in there. I'm afraid to put zeros in here and compile. This one, you're risking 20 pips. Let's try to make 40 pips. Exit's going to be 60 pips deep from here. The difference between this entrance and the exit is 40 pips, and here's your stop connected to that. Compile that, 12 hours across 16 pairs. Of course, looking for places that it would work. So I'm going to go to sleep tonight. I'm going to launch it. It's at white order. It's running. There's no conflicts. Boom. Next currency problem. We're going to buy this for the next 12 hours, starting at 50 pips deep, all the way to 100 pips deep, covering an area of 50 pips. So there's 3 orders in there. This one here looks like it could use some help. Just random, just buy. Looks like a good area to me. Here again, and so do the math. You're risking, I don't know, $6 on that to make 18, 20 bucks or something. Each currency pair gets one. This one I have no orders in here. This one I'm going to run all 3 of these. Here's the monster 2-hour Wango Tango. Here is the 4-hour, and I have the other one here. British pound looks like it needs a little bit of buying. Put the 2-hour. Now that we're going to Asia here, not a lot of chance. This 12-hour we could get filled later on. Unfortunately, I donated that to that, and here is that Singapore disaster. Look how tight that is. So I can't really run. Here it's going to be the 4-hour, and that is the 12-hour. And here it's going to be Euro Swiss. I'm just going to load the wagon on the psychotic 2-hour, buy every 5 pips, buy every 25, start at 50, and put that in. So let's see what happens. Let's see if I'm still winning anything. So if I don't think that, and of course if I wait every so much time, or maybe I wait, this is the hard part here, do I wait for something to get in profits and just get out of all the winners here, wait till I'm up 10, 20 bucks and just go flat? Because I have so much pending here that could fill. So let me just dump out of everything I'm in that's winning, reduce my margin, and wait for the next session to start. So now I'm down 11, but I got out of over half of my positions because my margin went from 40 to 17. So you could have said I should have got out when I was up on all those accounts and all that, but okay, so let's see what happens there. This looks like I don't know if I launched it here, but there you go. That is buying at 50 pips, 75 pips, 100. Master stop at 120 pips. All these ratios are good to go. That's it. If I would have babysat this demo account, I could have made maybe an extra 50 bucks today, but These are all 1Ks, and let's just hope I don't blow up the account. And if you, so you have, say, the hotkeys running. This is another way to approach it. All those hotkeys are set to 12 hours and under, or a daily and under, and then the weekly trades that you know are the go-to trades that you're going to scalp off this round number down here next week, regardless of how we finish off the next 24 hours. So the clock's running. You've got 23.5 hours left on your market set. Make money.